How long I got?
3 years, most likely less.
I want Empire to be here long after I'm gone. I need to start grooming a successor, and it can only be one of you. Put your heart and guts into this company.
Which makes me the most qualified to run the company, Dad.
So let's talk about Empire.
Okay.
This show, there's a lot of anticipation.
If we must.
I mean, Lee Daniels, Brian Grazer, Timbaland, Taraji, Terrence. I mean, the list goes on.
And my partner, Danny Strong.
Yeah, Danny Strong, who, phenomenal.
Game changer.
Absolutely.
Game changer.
This show is so fun, but it's also so hard to watch at times. It's. I was talking to Taraji, and the moment I knew I was in love with this show was the trash can scene.
Uh-huh.
It broke my heart. I related to it. I felt like there are moments where the show feels a little soap opera-esque, which is a blast. But then moments like that, I felt like I got punched in the gut. And I fell in love with Cookie, and I hated Lucius.
In a good way or a bad way?
I don't know yet. I'm confused by it.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I'm angry that I empathize with him. You know, I'm angry that I understand him.
Yeah.
I'm angry that I love him. It's very similar to Tony Soprano, you know, who was a scathing murderer that yet we care for, or The Godfather. You know, you know, how do you like those types of people?
Or Walter White, Breaking Bad. Like one of those characters that you absolutely cannot stand, but you understand what they're going through. You know, and I think it's so brilliant how this episode is set up. You know, he's dying. Cookie comes out of prison. They've got this interesting dynamic with their 3 sons who are all very different, but very much brothers. And each relationship is dynamic and interesting. How on earth do you work? First of all, I want to understand what it's like working with such young actors with so much talent that most people have never heard of.
Yeah.
And then also juxtaposed against these actors who were
lesbians.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first let me talk about the Terrence and the Taraji of it all. Terrence and I had worked together on The Butler. And so we were looking for something else to do together. And we were going to do Marvin Gaye. We were thinking about doing some Greek movie. And then this came along. And then so then Taraji was my first choice. But I was talking to another actor, star, black, to play Terrence's role. And so we Skyped, Taraji and I. And I said, Taraji, I said, what do you think of so-and-so? He says no. She says no. I want to work with Terrence Howard, and I was like, you don't even got the job yet.
She's making demands.
You know, and that's when I knew I had Cookie.
Yeah.
Because you know.
Yeah.
And then I thought, you know, well I didn't know Terrence wanted to do TV, so I called him up. He said, yeah, let me read the script. Let me see. I'll get back.
Of course, because he's cool like that.
Yeah, you know. And then he read it, and he's like, I'll come in, and he tested for us, and it was like the chemistry was bombastic. It was just like, it was crazy, you know. It was like some crazy, because they're 2 Academy Award nominated, sort of like, and they bring it, and so there you have it. But then the kids, the kids, that's a whole different sort of ball of wax, because, okay, it was like Star Search. Like, okay, how do you find? Do I find an actor that
can
sing
or dance,
or do I find a singer that can act?
Yeah.
So it was really hard. I knew that I couldn't teach a singer to act. I mean, I couldn't teach an actor to sing. So I had to go for the singer that could act. And so that was just for endless. And then in walks these guys that just,
they're so natural.
yeah, it's crazy. And then I brought in the usual. I had to bring in Gabby because it was just, of course,
she's fantastic,
and with blonde hair,
and she's sassy too. She doesn't let Lucius get away with a lot.
Not at all, with blonde hair. We had to change it up.
Yeah.
And fashion. It was all about making her. I said, I'm going to make you so. We're going to do everything, because she's like, please, I don't want to be Precious again. I said, I'm going to put you in Gucci, baby.
Yeah.
And so we sort of, it was that in itself.
What about Cookie's fashion?
Pretty fierce, yeah.
I mean, she's something.
It's a statement.
She looks like she's about to go to a club
Right.
in like 1992.
Well, when she comes out of jail.
She does, yeah.
And
she's
then,
still...
and then we're slowly transitioning her into Valentino.
Yeah. What is the hope for the show? What do you hope audiences get out of the show?
Oh, wow. That's a good... oh, man.
Because I've got a lot of emotions about it already, and I've only seen the first episode.
Tell me.
I'm blown away by it. It's really exciting.
Oh, man, you make me feel good.
No, it's really exciting to see
Thank
a
you
show...
so much.
No, thank you. A show that covers the hip-hop world with some truth. You know, there's a lot of rumors about the hip-hop world, but this show is not afraid to go there in so many different ways in one episode. But also, at the heart of it all, there's this family dynamic of love and a lot of anger and resentment that plays on the faces of all these characters throughout the entire episode. I was blown away. I didn't know what to expect, and it's not what I expected at all, but in a really good way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was really hard. It was hard because what do I want people to walk away from? That it's not just a black family, but it's any family. You know, I'm going to get some flack from the African American community because, you know, she was a drug dealer, as you know, and that's what sort of built the empire. But there's no difference than what Joe Kennedy did to the Kennedys. And so I think that we are people, and we're, you know, I've been one already, you know, I'm used to getting, you know, targeted. From Monsters Ball on, I've been targeted. Right. So, you know.
Well, guess what? The Ewings did it in Dallas years ago. They built an empire on dirty money.
They did.
And they're a white family.
Yeah.
A black family can be just as dirty.
I think so. So, I mean, I think that hopefully we'll address issues of homophobia.
Sure.
We address issues on race in a way that, and we don't take ourselves seriously, you know, because we teeter on camp.
Yeah.
And
which is fun.
Yeah, right?
So fun.
There's a lot of dynasty going on.
There is a lot of dynasty. There's nothing wrong with that. Thank you. Thank you for this show.
I'm
really excited for people to see it.
Thank you. Oh, man, that means a lot to me. Yeah, man. Thank you.
Pleasure.
All right.
To the empire.